Hello guys, how's everybody doing? Great to see all of you here today. Powerful manifestors we have here. So a question I have here, all right Mark, well how do I get clear on what I want for the universe to manifest it for me? So clarity is the key to manifesting your desires. Listen people, you're dealing with an illogical mind. The mind that creates and manifests everything in your life is not your regular mind. You know, in your regular mind, you can dream up your desires. You can visualize your desires. You can think of your desires. And then you can feel your desires. But that's still not the mind that creates it. The mind that creates everything in your life is called your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is the secret to your success. So, whenever you are working with manifestation, whenever you're working with inspiration, self-development, if you want to live your best life, your best world, career, anything in your life, there's one thing you must give to the subconscious mind so it can give you what you want. And that one thing that you must give is clarity. You have to be clear on what you want. You got to get clear. All right. The laws are misunderstood a lot. The law of attraction is misunderstood. Law of, what is it? What's the other one now? Law of attunement. Law of assumption. They are all misunderstood. So I'm going to give you an example of how to be clear on what is it that you want. I didn't say be specific. I said just be clear. There's a general clarity, specific. Here's the first mistake people do when they're doing something, when they want to bring something in from the non-physical so they can experience it. They go on and they get so specific because they fear or they think, oh my God, if I don't say this or say that, the universe is not going to hear me, the universe is not going to manifest it for me. And then they create so much resistance, man. Clarity and being specific is two different things. So I'm going to give you an example of how to be clear on what you want. Like, I'm going to use myself as an example. So what did I do to create my life, whatever I want? Well, I won the lottery and I manifested my dream car. Did all that, okay? So I got cleared. So here's what I did. First thing I made is a decision. That's the first thing I'm going to manifest. What is it that you want or desire in this infinite universe, multiverse, Mark? What is it that you want? What is it what you want or desire? Okay, I want a car. I want a Dakar yellow, E46, BMW, M3, 1 in 10 that I ever built. Cloth seats, slick back, no sunroof, lightweight, track car, cruising car. I got clear. What color do you want, Mark? Oh, that car right there is the car I want. It's Dakar yellow. Let me see what it has. Okay. Cloth seats. Okay, lightweight. Oh, no sunroof. Okay. That's clear. You don't say, oh, I want to manifest a car. I want to manifest money. I want to manifest love. You're going to get all that, but you're not going to get what you want because you're not clear on it. Okay, I want to manifest a black 2-door leather seat, interior, wood panel, BMW, Mercedes, whatever it is you want to manifest. That's called clarity. Oh, I want to manifest love. Right, I want to manifest someone, he or she, between 5'6", 5'3", light brown hair, real good personality, think like how I... That's called being clear. Oh, I want to manifest a house. Nah. Oh, I want to manifest a house. Okay, here's how I go. I want to manifest a townhome, 2-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, wooden floors, flat upstairs or downstairs. Oh, I want to manifest money. No, that's not how it works. I want to manifest 20,000, 25,000 in my bank account, in cash, in investments. That's called clarity. That's the first thing you have to do when you're going to create something. You got to get clear. If there's 2 things you want to change in your life, decide what you want and then get clear on it. Hey, how are you doing? You got to speak in the details of what you want. Not specific, but general. I just gave you the example of what the general detail is. Once you do that, now your mind can go to work and start to bring it into your reality. Clarity is the missing piece, because you think the universe know what you want. Of course the universe know what you want, but there's so much stuff out there that you want. The universe has everything already set up for you. You got to give the universe the category, the generalization, the details of what it is that you want, so you can bring it to. If you go to the universe, say I want more money, the universe will give you more money, but you'll get $5, $2, $10. But if you go to the universe, said I would like to have 20,000. Universe says, all right, let me work on giving you 20,000. If you go to the universe, you see, guys, the universe doesn't work with language like how we use language. You know, the universe works with a vibration of a chemistry of an energetic exchange, that you're exchanging energy with the universe in the form of your thoughts, in the form of your feelings, in the form of your intention, and in the form of what you put out there. That's how the universe is going to send it back to you. You know what I mean? The universe is not going to send it back to you unless you don't tell the universe in the details of what it is that you want to experience in your life. All right, so that's it. Next question I got here. Mark, how do I, I struggle with people. I struggle with, not getting what I want. I just struggle with so much people taking advantage of me, stuff like that. Or, how do I live my best life, man? How do I prevent people from stopping me from doing what I want and manifesting my goals and my dreams? Someone asked me a question. How would you live as if you won a lottery jackpot? Reverse that question to live as if you won a lottery jackpot. So I'm going to say, so how would you live? Now, of course, you can't physically live the way, right? You can't just jump in a mansion. You can't just jump in a Bentley or anything like that, right? You can't do that, right? Because it's not there right now. However, there's something even better. You can live up here. You can live in your head, rent-free. You can go in there and see yourself living like you won. Like, what would you be doing? What are the things? What are the changes in your life? Where would you go? What would you be doing? All of that can be conjured up by your mind and your emotions, and then it's going to give you a feeling, and that feeling is living as if you won, and then the feeling will turn into the physical experience. Whatever, if you keep your attention on what you focus, when you focus, put it this way, when you focus and put your attention on the thing that you want without any attachment, the situation will come around to manifest and make what you were thinking on and focusing on become a physical experience in your life. The key word I said is with no attachment. Next one. 2 things that change your life. Number 1, What you put out will come back to you at some point in your life. Number two, whatever situation happens to you, or whatever situation you are going through, you must see the situation as a benefit for you. No situation must become negative in your life. None of it. And the simple reason, the simple explanation is, in this life we call the life we live in, our life, whatever you call it, the matrix, with the way the universe operates in this system is the following. Everything is just happening. There is no good or bad as far as the universe is concerned. The universe is just happening, and whatever is happening, we the observers give meaning and rise to whatever is happening. So, when I'll give you an example, I'll go back. I'm going to give an example with me again. I like to be very transparent. So there was a time, I remember, when I got my first job. Okay? I was working at a pizza shop. Way back, right? And this girl used to come in the pizza shop. She used to come every Friday. Pizza, I think it's Little Caesars. I don't know if they still have it. But she used to come in the pizza shop like every Friday. And she would always be looking at me, right? And I kind of knew she liked me. I liked her too, right? She would look at me. And then one day we started talking. So this girl knew I was in the pizza shop. So we started going out. Things started going cool. Then after a while, this girl would just always want me to give her pizza. She's like, "You're my boyfriend, you got to do this stuff." So I was like, "Okay, you're a teenager, you know what I mean? When you're a young teenager, you're just da-da-da." So she's like, "Okay." And then she kept wanting more. And when I would get my paycheck, I was living at home, so as people say, I didn't have any bills or responsibilities. So she would always want me to spend it on her. And the thing was like, "Mark, you're my boyfriend. That's what boyfriends do. You gotta go help me do my nails." Okay, I'll do that. But then it got to the point that I didn't really have any money for myself. I was just spending the money on this girl, and I didn't feel the same. I was like, "Listen, something isn't right here, man. Okay? Something isn't right." So I started doing that. I'm gonna show you what I learned now, back then, that perspective to show you the big picture of this. So people said they've been through that. Yeah, I'm sure we all have. Anyway, so I'm there, and I'm like, man. So my friends are there. They're talking to me. They're saying, "Man, you gotta stop doing that, man. This girl is trying to use you as a sucker, Mark." I was like, I kind of knew it back then. You didn't, as a kid, teenager, when a girl likes you and all that stuff, you're like, oh, da da da. Anyway, so I was like, okay, I don't like this situation, right? That's what I said to myself. I said, I don't like this situation. And then I started to think to myself, okay, let me ask you a question. That situation, right, would be considered a negative situation, right? But you see, for me back then, I kind of was ahead of the game. So here's what I did. I started to think to myself, all right, okay, how can I make more money to provide for this girl, my girlfriend at the time? Because obviously, my pizza job, I was giving her most of my money, and I didn't have enough stuff for me to go like buy what I do with my video game stuff. I used to play my video games and whatever I used to do. I didn't have enough of that stuff. So I was like, okay, I gotta figure out a way to make more money so that I can provide. Now, a situation ended. What officially happened, guys? I told her, I was like, "Listen, I can't do this anymore. I can't afford you." Basically, I'm a teenager. I'm at a pizza shop, man. I'm just, that time was like $4.75 an hour they were giving you back. So it was like, I couldn't do it, man. Okay, so after I did that, right, there's something that happened that I didn't realize until many, many years later. And I look back in retrospect and I said to myself, Mark, that situation that happened to you, can you see the good in that situation? Remember I told you, I said the number one thing that will change your life is every situation that ever happened to you, you have to change it and make it a good situation. So how do you think I could make that situation a good situation? If you comment below if you heard the story, what do you advise me on how I would make that situation a good situation? Someone says learning boundaries. Okay, I got something even better than that propelled me. Okay, learning boundaries, good one. What else? See, now you're getting it. You're going back, and this is what you got to do. You got to go back to all the stuff that happened, because people, if you don't go back to the stuff that happened in your life and change them, they're going to create trauma. They're going to create blockages. You know what I'm saying? So you have to analyze your life and think to yourself, okay, what this, I talk about, I said the past is gone. Yes, yes, yes. But the emotion still is there. So if it's something that's bothering you or is holding you, you have to revisit and change and make it amends. And this is what someone says, value yourself. Yes, but as a teenager, man, you're a teenager. You know what I'm saying? As a kid, you're not thinking about value yourself. You have your girlfriend, a girl that likes you, in fact, with you. You're like, you're this cool guy or cool girl. It's like, yeah, So perspective. But here's what I did that I didn't realize I was doing. You know what the best outcome when I went back was? I was so happy that girl came into my life. You know why I was so happy she came into my life? And here's what I changed it. She created the drive in me for the ambition to think outside the box, to create more revenue and more money. After the girl left, my mind was in entrepreneurship mentality. I was starting to make more money than I ever did, because when I was with her, she forced me to think of other ways to make money, to compensate, to help her. But at that time, I didn't know. I thought it was a bad thing. But when I look back at it, I was like, man, this woman, this girl propelled me, man. She turned my creative mind on. Boom. Yes, so I was, now if I see her today, I would shake her hand, I would thank her. No, I don't still play video games. I would definitely thank her, because what she did, she turned on the fire. She lit the fire in me, because after I left her, my mind was still in creative, making more money. Mark, what can you do to make more money? And I was doing all these things. I was doing my paper route. I was doing some car washing stuff, man. My friends, I was making so much money, man. I was living at home. I was making money, and it never stopped. So that's what I'm showing you. So if you put 2 marks there now, 1 mark will say, well, damn, it sucks, man. This girl was using you. She was your girl. Da da da. She took your money and all da da. And the other mark now would say, man, be happy that happened to you, because your mind expanded on a way for you to make more money. So you see that? You see how I changed the perception? You see how I changed that? And what does it do? It propels you. So that's what you have to do in your life. Everything that is bothering you, you have to go back and give it a new meaning. There is a meaning. There is a good meaning for it. If you go into it and think, look at my situation. You see that? So if you do those things, guys, it's going to propel your life. Because I remember now, we're dealing with an illogical mind. So when I went back and I fixed it, my subconscious mind says, all right, Mark, yeah, we're just going to keep you in this mode, because once you turn on your creative mind, people, it doesn't shut off. It keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. Okay. Now, all right, someone, Mark, there's a lot of terrible traumatic things in my life. Nothing good ever happened from it. I don't see how something good can happen from what I experienced. Well, you know what I have to tell you? You have to look deeper. Every situation, there is something that you can turn it around. Okay, I'll get even more deeper than you. If there isn't something that you can logically do in that situation, here's what you do. Make up something about the situation. Let me show you why this is powerful. Our brains and our minds, whatever happened to us, our trauma, it doesn't remember it exactly the way it did. And because you're dealing with a logical mind, you can literally make up a story about something that happened, that never happened, and put it in there, and it will change the meaning of the structure. You see how it works? Because you're dealing with an illogical mind. I'll give you an example of what I mean. Let's say you were a kid and people used to push you around. They tease you a lot. And that caused you, as you go older, to become shy and very low self-esteem. And you're saying to yourself, man, Mark, that's nothing good can come from that. These kids bullied me, they teased me, they made fun of me. I'm very insecure. When I'm going to get a job, I get rejected. I just can't talk to anybody because this is just there with me. How can I change that? I mean, it happened. The kid bullied me, they teased me. Okay? Let me show you something about your mind. It happened, right? After it happened, it's stored as a memory. As we call it, time goes on, our memories start to shift and change. You never remember something the way you think you remember. It never happened. As time changes, your brain will actually trick you and put you stuff in there that never happened. That's actually done in research. To you, you may think, oh, I remember that exactly the way. It didn't work. It didn't happen exactly that way as time goes. So here's what you do. So if you can't find something, make up something. Here's what I mean. Oh man, come to think of it, I never got bullied by those kids. That's what you're telling your mind now. But your mind says, your conscious mind says, wait, you did get bullied by those kids. I have the memory of it. No, I never got bullied by those kids. What actually happened was those kids just didn't understand how attractive, how powerful I was, how confident I was. So you know what ended up happening? They just got scared of my power, man. And they were just trying to do something that they didn't understand. But as a kid, I didn't understand it back then. I just made that up. Do you know what happens now with an illogical mind? It goes back into the trauma and says, oh, so this isn't something that was going to hurt us? Okay, I'm going to change it. Your self-esteem goes up. Your confidence goes up because you gave a new meaning to the trauma. In your mind, it seems illogical. In your conscious mind, it doesn't make sense. But I'm not dealing with the conscious mind. I'm dealing with the subconscious mind because that's where the change takes place. You have to remember, people, we live in a subjective world. Your truth becomes your truth. Her truth becomes her truth. In your reality, if your truth is your truth, all the situations will come around in your reality to make sure your truth follows and comes to you as an experience. They don't teach you that in school. They don't teach you that in the Matrix. They don't want you to know that in the Matrix. The reason they don't want you to know that in the Matrix because they do not want you to change the Matrix. They don't want you to change the program. They want you to fall in line and be a part of their society. And they tell you, you can't change. That is BS. Don't do that. That doesn't make any sense. But yet, if you knew the laws of physics in the universe, you can see that there is no such thing as objective world. There's only subjective world. If you study the electron, the particles that make up the world, they don't stay in one place. They are in perpetual, constant in and out movements of different dimensions, and also they are non-local. In layman's terms, whatever you make up or say or think, it will become a real physical thing in your world. There is no objective truths. It's your truth. It's my truth. I'm speaking now on a personal self-development level of your emotions, your mind, your state of being, your desires. When it comes to trauma or things in your life. You can flip anything. As I told you, you can make it up, you can insert it, you can give it a new meaning. Your mind will buy it. It happened 20 years ago. Give it a new meaning. Your mind will tell you, don't do it. You do it. Because it is the meaning, the new meaning, that will take away the trauma. I gotta tell you guys, it's when I say the word illogical, you can revisit it and say, you know what, this didn't actually happen. It happened this way. You can do that. You can go back into your trauma and remember, say, you know what, I'm remembering this wrong. This actually didn't happen. It's information, people. I struggle with panic disorder. How can I heal my nervous system and live free? They have many names for it. They call it revision. They call it true story. Never got it. Call it revision, right? They call it all type of different stuff. Panic attacks and disorders. So whenever you have panic attacks, it's usually coming from two things. It's in the mind, and this is coming from either, we call it catastrophic thinking or debilitating thinking. It's either your mind is showing you the worst or your mind is badgering you about your self-worth. So what you have to do now, this is where you go into your mind now and write a new story about your mind. Tell your mind that these thinking they're not true, it's not real. And then what you want to do, you want to practice optimism daily. Optimism being that seeing things as truths, seeing things as positive, no matter what they are. Again, people, you have to remember the key point of this is we're talking. See, as you're watching me and you get processing information, you're using your logical mind, and that's normal. But here's the trick. When I'm talking about the subconscious, you have to turn off the logical, because we're going into an illogical mind. So you don't try to make your mind, use your mind to make sense of what I'm saying about the subconscious. It's just not going to work. You just have to listen and then understand, okay, this guy's saying that this part of the mind is basically a wacko, it believes anything type of mind. That's what this guy's telling me. So what I'm thinking logically is not going to be coherent with the illogical mind. That's what I'm trying to show you here. So what you want to do is you have to get into a different story, a different version, and then that story becomes true. It's called, all right, I'll give you an example of what I mean. There's some people, many of you, I remember when you were a kid, you were like playing in your car or playing something, and you say, you know, one day I'm going to be a music star. I used to pick up like a little rock or a stick and used to sing, and you used to say to yourself, I'm going to be a singer. I'm going to be an actor. I'm going to do that. You were doing that right when you were like a kid and growing up. And then even when you got a little bit older, you're still doing it. You're like, you know what? I'm going to live in a nice house. But you live in a studio. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Right? What do you think you were doing back then? In your logical mind, it's not possible. It's showing you. What are you doing? This dream will never be born. This dream will never be birthed. Stop it. But still you kept doing it. And then guess what happened? A few years later, a couple months later, what you were doing as a kid and what you were saying actually became a physical reality. You're now on stage singing. You're now doing the thing you were supposed to do. What do you call that? That's an example of illogical manifestation. That's an example of the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is going to believe whatever you tell it. You have a stick as a microphone, it's a microphone. You're going to be a good singer or an actor, you're going to be the actor or the singer. You're going to live in a nice big house, you're going to be in the big house, even though you're in a studio. You were tricking, or whatever you call it, brainwashing. Your mind don't care, man. It's your truth. That's what I'm saying to you. Everything, remember, nothing stays the same. Everything changes form. And that also means your memories, your experiences, your remembering. You can change them form. You can flip them, you can switch them, you can insert them, you can delete them, you can put something in that doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to you. Put in, your mind will buy it. That's what they don't want to tell you. Your mind will buy it. If you do it repeatedly, it will buy it. And people will say, hey man, there's something different about you. You changed so much. I notice you're not so shy anymore. I notice you're more outspoken. What did you do? I mean, you're not going to tell them, man, I was crazy, man. I was just telling my mind some BS, and they believed it. I was telling my mind I was great at doing something. You're not going to say that to them, right? But that was the truth. The reason you're not going to say that to them because you don't want people to think you're crazy. So why don't you want people to think you're crazy? Because they programmed you to think that way. They programmed you to think that if you talk to your mind and tell your mind certain things oblivious, really doesn't make any sense, then people are going to look at you like you're loony. That's what they want. That's why it's shunned from you to do that. That's what they want you to do. They don't want you to go into your mind and dream big and make up these stories about your truth and see the big picture. They don't want you to do that. They've been doing that to you from you're a kid. They start to cut off your imagination when you guys start getting older. They start to tell you, hey, let's get serious. Let's get real life. Let's get practical. Come back to reality. Stop imagining. Stop playing around. You're delusional. You all are familiar with those words. Why would people put so much energy on putting that out in the mainstream to you? Why would they keep pushing it in your head? Stop daydreaming is another one. Stop living in your head. I'm a realist. I'm a practical. Right? Why? I don't think anyone has ever sat and think to themselves, I mean, has anyone ever stopped and think like, I wonder why so many, the mainstream or the world or everything or the education system, they all just focus on me being practical and me stop living in my head. I wonder why they're telling me to be a realist. I wonder why. Why can't I go into my head and see my best life? Now I'm scared to go into my head and see my best life. I think there's something wrong with me if I start to dream or imagine real big, because I'm not being a realist. I gotta stop daydreaming. Let me stop using my imagination, because it's just never going to happen. Let me just start to use my practical mind and see the best way I can do this. Let me go ahead and work hard and slave myself out and get sick, because I can't. That's just a bunch of BS in my head, because that's what my teachers in school told me. That's what the universities say. That's what the psychologists are telling me. That's what the mainstream is saying. They're telling me that I need to get out of my head and become real and get into reality. Well, I have news to tell you, man. You've been duped. The actual truth to success is the opposite. You have to go into your head. You have to do these things that seem illogical or stupid or doesn't make sense or delusional, or you have to do it. And the reason you have to do it is because that's how the game is set up. That's how the universe is set up. They don't tell you that. Reality, I guess, say it again. Go look up what objective and subjective means. The truth, people, is the world is a subjective world. And you have to understand that. Okay? So, that's what I want to leave you with today. I'll see you again next time.